I think we're getting used to this location. It's not the easiest one to transport people in. It takes us like about 40 minutes to ship in 30 people.
And yes, this is big day. 250, lots of it's with the army. We've got a few independents and they've travelled from all over the place, like Napier and Palmerston North, and we've got a whole heap of Wellington elves who've come up to be elves here again. So we've got a good, strong bunch of regulars that keep coming back. It's a good location. It looks like the moon, but there's a lot of, ankle twisting and good knee snapping to be done, as the actual set is so small and they're making people run.
We've been using the army and we lost 5 orcs in the first day. Basically 2 to claustrophobia, 2 to twisted ankles, and 1 to a busted
Popped out
knee.
Yeah.
So.
And in total it's 7 down, I think.
7 down. 7 to Ruapehu, 0 to us.
Yep.
So.
Going through them like flies.
And the moss. I don't know if you've heard about the moss. Doc's probably round, but yes, we're only allowed to walk on the carpet, and you've probably seen a lot of carpet round. Oh God, we're probably standing on moss.
Actually,
So it makes things a little bit difficult. Sometimes we've seen people going to war and then they're dodging moss instead of thinking about going to war. So we try and keep an eye on that.
But we're very environmental, and everybody's very careful.
Go the moss.
Go the moss.
Rocks. Rocks. Rocks.
Yep, only rocks.
Moss. Oh, shit. Moss. Avoiding the moss. Going on to come. Avoiding the moss. Going on to the. That's great.
Ready? Hold! Dorso! 1, 2.
This is the biggest low-budget film being made anywhere in the world at this time.
It's the biggest low-budget film being made in the Wellington area.
In the Wellington area. It's the biggest low-budget film being made in the history of the planet.
I know. I've always been asked, all the actors have already said, with a budget like this, I can't believe we're like shooting in tin sheds. Where is all the money going?
Did you tell them we built these tin sheds?
We're going to have Music of the Ring, which is a kind of almost beautiful elvish music. So it has this very sort of lyrical, seductive quality.
That's so deceiving.
But black speech comes out underneath. There's this sort of bubbling, insidious, evil, whispering stuff, which gets louder as it becomes more obvious what it is. Its true nature becomes more known.
Right, so each of the ring wraiths are going to have a different sword, is that the idea?
That's right. This is the... We're trying to attain some sort of mythical reality, I think. And it has to look like it's been lived in and sweated in and broken and repaired. And if that feel can come across, then I think something will come through.
Good.
I've had requests again about people coming to view things as they happen. For instance, today, the makeup tests. I had to say no. I'm obviously going to have to do a memo. It's wonderful that everybody's interested, but we can't have people standing around watching actors doing their thing. They may never have seen it before, and it might be highly amusing and very interesting, but I just have to say again, everybody, the answer will always be no. So please don't ring and bother asking anymore, because the answer's going to be no.
Just so you know, one debate we're going to have with the Maori tribe there is the depiction of the peak. And I'm sure we're going to want to see it.
No.
You don't want to see it?
Well, should we just say what we're
I think we'd probably win it. We just have to go through the argument,
Well, it's interesting because I don't think we would see it, because if we're seeing the peak, we're going to want it to put in an exploding volcano, because Mount Doom's erupting the whole time, and if we're putting an exploding volcano in, we're probably going to make a more interesting looking peak.
Right,
because the peak doesn't look like shit from here.
Right.
The peak just looks, you can't even see it's a peak. It just kind of goes up to a sort of a ridge line, and and if we're going to have Mount Doom, we just want a big cone blasting away up there. So
this is actually bad photography.
in a funny kind of a way, it's a situation where we'd point our cameras up there, but we might then replace everything up there with a miniature and a blast CG.
So we can tell them that we wouldn't see it.
I think in a way we could be very honest and accurate to say that the peak will not be appearing in the film.
At the moment, we're knee-deep in a bit of a numerical challenge. We were talking about it yesterday. We feel like we're drowning by numbers in this department. It's because the complexity of it that we need, because we've got so many shooting units and there are so many doubles, both scale and big rig double. We had 64 Frodo outfits that we would need for the films and 32 Aragorns, and we were up to 133 bags, travel bags, for each of the characters. And as a consequence, the girls are feeling ever so slightly disheartened.
All of our stuff was supposed to arrive today, apart from the trunk radios, is either not in the country or is in Auckland with customs. So they're scrambling, trying to find replacements. But I'm going to have to work tomorrow to sort of sort it all out so the second unit aren't left too high and dry.
But they don't need walkie-talkies next week.
I just wanted to know what gear we've got and what gear they have, just so it doesn't end up there being anything missing.
At the moment, we've got everything.
It's going to be borderline. I'm waiting on some stuff to come over now, whether we've got enough stuff for Monday. I
Right,
can make
so
it work, but it's a bit of a shit fight. But yeah, just letting you know that at the moment.
But at the moment, I don't want you to work tomorrow.
I can't see another way of getting it done.
The one thing that we're obviously going to deliver, and it's obvious we are, just from seeing, is we're in a sort of ILM or digital domain level of quality, probably better. I mean, there's every expectation that Gollum is going to be better than Jar Jar Binks, just in terms of his realism and his lip sync and everything else, you know. I mean, we're aiming at that level.
We're going to be using the radios that we've got on Monday.
Yes.
So there are not going to be any other radios to work with.
Capital Communications bringing those 30 in case, as standby.
Which 30? You said they weren't here.
We can do every shot that we've got planned for. If we lower our sights to Lost in Space, we'd lose half our guys because they probably wouldn't want to be involved, but then we'd hire cheaper guys in who would just be happy to do it anyway. We'd be down to that quality. They'd get the shots for that sort of money. I mean, you know, there's options like that if they choose.
Well, you know, we've had these radios for ages. I'm not quite sure why we just haven't distributed them already.
Because I was waiting for the accessories to arrive and the trunking radios.
Right. Okay. I don't want it to work tomorrow. Thank you very much.
I'll drag Charlie in and really get into it with him, and I'll just see if there's something I can spot that can get rid of a couple of million at least, just to initially to get a head start on it and just see what we can do from there. Yeah.
Take Jo's salary out of my wage if she can't work tomorrow. She's got to work tomorrow to get everything finished. If you have a problem with that, take it out of my salary. You had my
Carol,
I've got her over there in tears.
There's walkie-talkies. I mean, I can't believe we can't distribute walkie-talkies.
She has been working all week trying to sort out the mess that they're in. It's still not ready to be done. There's still people wanting more. She's battling with people trying to work out what they want. She cannot finish it by today. She has to work tomorrow. I will pay her. That's it. That's all. It's that easy. I'll do it. Take it out of my salary.
How you doing? You ready for the first one? What's up? What was that?
Normally we've got like a main unit of lighting, which is where most of the lighting goes, and then there's a second unit which is not quite as big as the main, not using as many lights perhaps, and then there's a miniatures unit again which normally doesn't use as much lights, but on this job each of those three units are as big as each other basically. The second unit almost has exactly what the main unit has in terms of lighting packages, distribution, gripping gear, what have you. And the miniature team, a lot of dimmers and that kind of control work. It's huge on that scale. That's why we've got so much gear here laid out, ready to be distributed to the different units.
So we basically just sit here for most of the day and we talk about old movies, keep our eye out for Rick Porras, the associate producer. Somebody just checks the window, sees if he's approaching, and when we see Rick coming, we start doing some storyboards.
Okay, so if you bring this part here, with this one with a...
Yeah, we get 2 or 3 done, don't we? And talk about old movies again.
And you come on.
So it's good. It's a fun day, good day. Last of the summer days before we start the hell of shooting, really. Our storyboards also go into the animatics. And the animatics are like a little movie version of the film that we make in advance of the actual shooting, where we film our storyboards with a video camera, we then cut them together on the Avid. It gives us an opportunity really to look at the film ahead of shooting. It informs us about the script, tells us if bits of the film don't seem to be working, if the pace isn't quite right, if there's boring bits, if the momentum is wonky, we have a chance to fix it.
what the brief for the tree was, that it was a very old, gnarled tree with long limbs that crept right out over Bag End. And that makes it a nice looking tree, but logistically it makes it very difficult in that it is so unbalanced. All the leaves which would shrivel have been picked off, and these are all artificial oak leaves that are wired on. There's about 250,000 artificial leaves. So we had 10 people for just on a week and a half wiring leaves.
You've painted a lonely mountain.
Echenin. It's from the verb echedo.
Plural, not singular.
That's right. It's Sindarin, the language of elves.
First of all, standing or sitting on there, and then you're going to climb over the back. You have to climb back, and then you can go around. So your arm's dangerous there. That's all right. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Zane here hasn't been out at the big show for a while, and he's ready for the ramp now. Come on, Zane.
It feels like a million different moving parts. Literally aren't connected, they're just attached.
Nice.
There's really nothing you can do to train for it other than get up in them and walk up and down.
These hands work as the same scale as the rig, but they also hopefully double to show human contact with the hobbits and helping with the scale.
Only a couple of carrots and some cabbages and those 3 bags of potatoes that we lifted last week and then the mushrooms the week before. Yes, Pippin. My point is, he's clearly overreacted. Run!
Elijah has to fall down onto the ground.
It was very serious shot.
Falling down onto Billy with me by his side near his anal passage, and as he fell down, he let go a little burp.
Right. That was great. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Thank you.
That was great, guys. Have you got one more in you? Me and Dom were doing a lot of good acting as well. But Yeah, I can't wait to see if it shows up on the sound. And my eyes were nipping,
going to show up on
and
the
it was
DVD.
really, really sore. And I was almost sick. And even the thought of it now.
My nose and ears were bleeding.
Yeah, they were.
You gotta love your castmates.
Is this a statement? Is this a suggestion? No. Is this an aspiration?
It's aspiration. Have you seen Elijah's ears?
Okay, well they're looking good. But it's very important that you get an indiscernible blend down onto that.
If you don't know what you're doing, you can basically send your knees through your chin.
I'm just going to pop the second unit of this.
Go on, Sam. Ask Rosie for a dance. What, me? Just walk up and take her hand.
I'll do it, hand before. I think I'll just have another hand.
So this Elijah guy, you know this Elijah Wood guy?
No.
Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, a couple of things.
I was speaking to him today, and he's just been a real idiot.
He's up.
Hey!
Hey!
How are you? Sit down, man.
How are you? Hey, good.
This party seems cool, isn't it?
Elijah Wood!
Hey, I've got a present for you.
Down, Monaghan.
I've got a present for you.
A present?
Yeah.
What for?
Oh, just for, nothing.
Yeah?
Just something I picked up.
You deserve one, man. Oh, that's cool. You guys roll.
I'm gonna go and get it up.
All right. Here's a
Next time, I'm gonna punch him right in the
I already did that to him the other day, man.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. He cried as well. He was like,
Hey, mate!
Hey! Hey! What's going on? Cut an apple.
Hey!
Woo!
You guys. I've never met friends like you before on a set.
Shut up.
Well, honestly, I mean it.
Nah, I would agree with that as well.
You know about my apples?
Never been so close to
No.
two people in my life.
Yeah.
You know about my apple?
Who's that?
Be an extra.
No idea.
He's jabbering all the time. I sat down, talking to you, trying to run my lines.
Right.
Jabber, jabber, jabber.
Yeah, constantly trying to interrupt.
And I'm busy with it.
Hey! What's going on?
Billy boy!
Hey, how are you?
Hey!
All right.
Billy boy!
So we need to get back up in a minute or two, I think.
Will we going back up?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't wait to do this scene with you.
Yeah, we'll have fun, eh?
You're just so giving.
I think that's us.
All right.
There's one coming into land and then there's 3 small ones, but you'll be fine. I'm the plane spotter here at the airport and the studio's just behind us, and I have to tell them basically when the planes are coming overhead because we have to stop the filming. Some of the actors are a little bit more testy than others. Some like it through rehearsals, some just when we're shooting. And basically it's a great job because I get to sit out in the sun all day long and read books in between. Occasionally I'll pop back for a little food, but apart from that, I just spot the planes.
We could try and get a shot that comes in through the doorway.
Where does the ring fall? Get left?
It gets left on the floor by the fireplace, and then we want to be able to look back through at Gandalf and Frodo sitting on the floor here.
Where's the kitchen stove? There. So that's the table. So
Gandalf might be seated up.
That's about as far as we'd go.
And so if we have Gandalf
sitting up
there, here, and possibly Frodo in the foreground. So we're moving in, and Gandalf is sitting right on the chairs there. In fact, if we turn the chair around so that he had his back to the fire, we might get a slightly better picture, slightly better image.
Yeah, because it's easier.
We've had to build this facade 3 times. One for this set, one for the large set, and one for the large set up in Hobbiton. So we've got to replicate this part of it twice, and then do the big set in Hobbiton as well. All the furniture's got to be built in 2 sizes. This is mainly for Gandalf when he visits Bilbo and Frodo.
And it's right rigging.
It is a bit spooky.
Well, they should have the checkers standing by in the other doorway, please, Joe. The same way we brought the cast in. We need to do checks and shoot. Okay.
Set and action.
When we hold the tongs out, it'll be a thing where you'll have to put your hand out here, and the tongs will be over here. You know, it's sort of like what's going on here. And then we wait, you know, it's going here. Yeah.
What are you doing?
And it's burning. You just watch it for a moment, burning, and then.
Give me your hand, Frodo. It's quite cool.
Hand comes up, pop it in, and then just go back to your eye lines again, your cheated ones.
Oh, can you see? Can you see anything?
Something sort of that's quite You know what I mean? It sort of has a...
That's essentially what it is.
Well, yeah, okay.
All right.
All right, well, why don't I quickly go bang off this pocket shot so we can free up Richard and the other camera. You guys set up this for handheld.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's a good feeling. Now, should we just try it with Kieran and Sean running the same lines off camera here? So Sean and Kieran swap places. Now you've got a back hat on, Kieran.
Hello. Samwise Gamgee, have you been eavesdropping?
I haven't been dropping no eaves, sir. I was just cutting the grass under the window, if you follow me.
A little late for trimming that, isn't it?
I heard raised voices.
Speak! You're actually telling the truth, which makes you even more scared.
Keep it hidden. We never speak of it again. No one knows it's here. Do they? Turn. Do they, Gandalf?
There's one other who you have the ring. Got him. I looked for the picture of the Emperor found him first.
Right, stop. Stop this. Accept that, please.
Well, that was, apart from the lines, that was the timing was great. Apart from the lines? Yeah, apart from the performance.
What?
The timing was really good.
Oh, my staff's still in the other room.
So you can listen to yourself, and when you hear turn, you can just sense that spot. So when you do it without the playback, you'll be able to feel the position of the camera for when you should be turning around. You know.
We put it away. We keep it hidden. We never speak of it again. No one knows it's here. Do they? Turn. Do they, Gandalf?
That is so utterly confusing.
Okay, it looked good. It looked good.
Did it look all right?
Yeah, you can use a little bit of...
Flash. Here we go. And action.
All right.
We put it away. We keep it hidden. We never speak of it again. No one knows it's here, do they?
Turn.
Do they, Gandalf?
And you're basically just
And I can't go beyond that.
No, but you can put your elbow down there. The more down there you are, the better it looks actually. You know, it goes back to the fire. No.
And action.
It is the master ring.
In, gon, I, af, ra.
We had videos made by an expert in Elvish, and this man has studied the language. He knows how it sounds. He's put it all down on tape for us, and so we've used him and Tolkien's words, Tolkien's book.
How is it?
Very well. Well, very odd. I mean, more than usual. Last week he wrote his will and started roaring with laughter.
It's much better for the actor to find the accent finally, before looking at the script, from spontaneous thought and speech. If the actor can use the accent in his or her spontaneous speech, it means that it doesn't matter what's in the script, wouldn't you think?
They can handle anything.
They can then do anything that's thrown at them.
I know, the food and drink will be flowing all night.
Straight up.
Spot of all the wine.
Hi, as I go over my lines in embarrassment. Yeah.
Okay, let's just check your bed for nothing, Fran.
Action.
And towards up. And strike. Strike. Strike.
And it's snug in the scabbard. All the swords have a very slightly rounded off point, supposedly for safety, but if you tried hard enough, they would still go through somebody. It's just to reduce the risk to the actors a little bit. Actors don't like bleeding unless it's on cue. I've been a professional sword maker for about 12 years now, and 6 of those have been full-time. Since I've started here, I've been working on things that are the sort of the swords I've dreamed about working on, and I've also had nightmares about some of them. Since I started here, I've probably made 40 or so hero swords, 60 plus aluminium swords for the stunt work. I've also worked on all sorts of other things, like 100 or so weapons made out of EVA foam for background work.
I had a friend who was really into sword fighting, and he tried it out, but his one was pretty heavy. I remember finding it quite difficult, so it'll be interesting.
Action!
I haven't slept in maybe 2 days or 2 hours over the last 48. Lots of dancing, about 9 hours, and but yeah, no, fully into it.
And action! 2, 3, and 4. Okay, once again. Okay. Putting the power in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, one more time. Pull the voice up a bit, don't. Yes, okay. On guard. Okay, just wait for the cue. And action. Okay, you didn't see another one? Action! Ha! 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 Okay, yeah, places.
I've only got one thing to say. Yes, what? Yeah. Summed up my whole thing. You can't be...
Good, and...
That's good. Wonderful. I think the majority of people watching a sword film love the action, the sword play. I have a saying about swords that through life you have a constant struggle between good and evil. And in the old days they used to settle that with the sword. That means you're standing with a sharp sword, eyeball to eyeball, with the goodie or the baddie, whichever you want to be. And you need to have a lot of courage to carry out that act. With a sword, death has some dignity to it.
Wow. They really do work.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Where can I get some? Hey, dude, look at that. Bitchin'.
I was so excited because I've been hanging out for about 2 years. When I first heard the movie was going to production, I actually wrote a letter. I would have been about 16 or 17, asking to be part of it. And now finally, woo, yeah.
It was a good time. Pretty much the usual walking backwards and forwards 3 days.
You can't get in unless you've got these lovely pointed ears. You know, they're a requirement. You just, I mean, if you haven't got them, you don't get in.
Also handy for the Star Trek movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Trying to find extras, it's important to get people that are really into it and that aren't, that aren't annoying.
Back and put them behind there so they can come through.
When you have such specific physical types like elves and things like that, everybody can't be an elf, so therefore my pool runs out. We've got 300,000 people in Wellington, and I'm trying to find a pool of very tall, very beautiful, aged between 16 and 30, supermodel, available 24 hours for 2 years. Yeah, you go figure. We're really kind of stretched at the moment, so this is quite a big job for me to try and make sure that the good ones get in the front.
Now,
He's falling into the shadow world. He will soon become a wraith like them.
Don't be so slow next time.
Today we've got the horse Florian, who plays the part of Asphalov, Arwen's horse. It's his first day on set. We can train him for all sorts of things like noise and fans and smoke and lights and mirrors and cameras. We can't reproduce 100 people on set. So it's all a little bit, let's see what happens, and I think he'll be pretty right though.
Whoa, don't bite me.
Set.
And...
Go, hang on.
Ow, 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 ow. That hurt. Why'd you do that?
Hold the rope.
You're out. That's right.
Where is the end of the shot? When we cross the real road.
Cut it there, please.
Okay, got
So a string on one.
Strings and shot.
Strings on two, and you do very slow.
So Liv comes up and grabs him back, pulls him back into the...
Retrieving him back
which
up
would
on.
be nice, just really...
Well, should we do the head as well if we're going to do that? I don't know, are you happy with the head? You want a one like that? Oh God, it's raining.
Guys,
We have the worst luck in the world.
this rain's going to trash the costumes, just sort of give it a chance to ease.
Most people are at home trying to save their houses and sandbag their belongings. We make a film.
Hey, when are our scale doubles ready, Carl?
We're on you. It's all the turbans to do.
Richie's made snow just to keep you happy. Oh, just absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
As they're slipping it up, just slip this chap back in.
Well, you'll be here and they'll be there. You to the south of the head. You're disappearing. We can have you going behind the bush and then.
At the moment, because we may have to come back.
And the other thing is everyone's starting to get a little bit cold.
I'm just saying, I'm very cold. I've got people shivering and horses shivering, and it's, I can see
Well,
people
should we pull out now, eh?
I actually think we should.
Okay, okay, guys.
Oh.
Done and done.
Trying to make these blocks look very slightly bedded in. They've shifted a bit over the years, they've slumped, they're weathered, they've aged a bit. Crack. There you are, instant aging. You realise this is a top secret process developed over 1 million years by cavemen and model makers alike.
it's very hard to see anything when the sun comes out. It's very contrasty. Trying to design a film set for the elves in the same way that the elves would have designed their own habitation, which is very much part of nature in the forest, and building around the trees rather than bulldozing them. So we're trying to be sensitive as we can. The logistics of actually, getting large pieces of set which are built in Wellington, transported out here, and so I kind of have to keep half an eye on what on the practicalities, but I don't let that kind of hold me back. This was just a great opportunity to work on one of the best books ever written in one of the most beautiful places on earth, with some of the nicest people that I know.
Wind draft from the helicopter just pushing the set around, so it's better to get rid of him, and we just get some guys out there and we'll lift it into position ourselves.
It's very easy to sit up 500 feet in the air and say, wow, that looks like a great location, let's film there. When you have up to 3 units per day, every day, for 18 months, taking that number of vehicles, those numbers of people, you really start to get an idea of the size of the logistics of this show. We have to think about the basics. Where are they going to go to the toilet? How are we going to serve them tea and coffee? If the weather closes in, we've got to put tents up for them. What are we going to do with the trash at the end of the day? So hopefully the director will only ever have to worry about flying in there on the day, directing the scene, and flying out again.
I'll be taking a length of toilet paper in my pocket just for emergencies. Those turret things were on the outside, but maybe there's different. Oh, well, it's obviously the right side.
Honestly, I thought I'd just throw a blue behind it when we get the line up and shoot an element, and then that would become the basis for the painting that we pin into it.
Right. Oh no, it doesn't look like the road's quite centred, does it? It looks like the whole thing should slide over. As Gandalf comes here, the camera will start dollying, and it'll eventually dolly and pan off the wall and through into the thing there. But yeah. Okay. Good. Well, it'll be good. It'll be great. It'll actually make it a really good shot.
I think so.
A really nice shot. Yeah. Okay. Good.
I think we were late getting away. I think we're a little late getting away. We need to just whiz another one.
Just to try and get in a bit tighter, but we might need you at the moment. That just the way that your staff falls, it goes across your face a little bit. So might need to either just hold it back slightly or to take it out slightly. We've been shooting for about 4 months now, and we finally get to start to do things with the villains. Like we've done a lot of shooting with the hobbits and Aragorn and our heroes, and it's great to finally get the dark part of the story on film to start to set up the sort of the opposition, as it were. So it's good. It'll be fun to do this stuff.
Alrighty, we are ready, folks. We're shooting this light.
This is a shot that reveals a flock of crows that had been sent out by Saruman to spy on the Fellowship, flying down through a hole in the ground down into the caverns below Isengard. So in order to do this shot, we're using 4 different sets at different scales because the crows fly deep down into the earth, and these are caverns one layer below the next. So this is the first cavern. Above that, we've got a model of the ground plane, which is a much smaller scale, come down into a much bigger set, which is this one, fly down, swoop around through there, come out through a hole at the end of that set into another set, fly out of that and into another set, and in that set we have a live action shot of Saruman shot on blue screen. In order to do this, of course, each set has to have a mat at the end of it so that we can insert the set that's coming up in through the hole. So we essentially stack these things up from back to front, so essentially they're all stacked set, mat, set, mat, set, mat, all the way back up to the surface.
Well, the other one is to come towards adding the details takes quite a lot of time. We find that we need to add a lot more detail than what you might think just to get to the level of reality where even a lot of the detail becomes subconscious, but to the eye, that's when it becomes realistic.
This is a smoke reader that we use to determine exactly the density of smoke and also to make sure that the density is kept constant during each of these passes, because the passes take about 29 minutes to shoot, so we have to keep the smoke absolutely constant during that whole time. Now the reason for the smoke is that, of course, this set is representing something that's extremely large, and in order to get the feeling that things that are actually only maybe a meter away are actually 15 meters away, we have to build some kind of atmospheric perspective into it, and that's done by shooting with a very light hazing of smoke over the whole set. So we shoot it in the clean air, and we also shoot it in the smoky air, and then when we put it together, we can combine those. So when we're far away from something, it's quite hazy, and then as we get closer, we can dissolve from the smoky pass to the clear pass. So you have the feeling that you're traveling much further than you actually are. It's a basic trick of miniature photography to try to create the feeling that something's a lot bigger than it really is.
Attack. Attack me. What? No, attack me. I'm going to do that. Oh, yeah, you attack. First here, second here, third here.
Not too much trouble. If they get too much trouble, you just pick them up and they can't do anything.
No, you attack me. Attack, you attack.
Well, I can't see them actually having a sword and going clang, clang.
They might have to occasionally, but as you say...
Or maybe run up on a piece of wall so it's the same height.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, you could do that.
We could get him doing that. The two to the left, you two, you have to cower against this, and then Sam says, "Get back, you villains." I forget the term, but anyway, get back, you so-and-so. Okay?
Yes, sir. Get back, you.
Well, bad backward fall. You'd look where you were going, and then you went back like this.
Okay.
Hey, come on. We'll put your...
Give him another mat. Oh, extend that. Give him another.
Excellent! Okay, that's good. Half him up. Great. Not so great. We've got to do another. It was almost great, but not quite. Gentlemen, to make it work better, crowd him, right? Fuck it, wrong place. 5, 6. Yep. That's why it's high. Yep. I want your head to touch back. Yeah.
On his spring.
Come on now.
Okay, try it.
Do it. Go.
Right, yeah.
Go on. Boom!
This works out well where you can sort of probably not use the master very much too as well. Yep. Yeah, which would be quite good, won't it?
If you don't use the mouth, then what about your eyes? You reckon it will be contact?
No, they'll be fine. I mean, we'll just have a look at the footage, but I think we're not gonna notice. I think we'll be sufficiently far away. Yeah.
Really?
I think you'll be okay. I think this will be better than a mask, won't it? Yeah.
Martin, you look just like him.
Lucky man. He's flattered.
Wow.
So can we just strip everybody? Strip everybody down to their jackets and keep the trousers on.
Stand in the line. Act like you're going to wait for the bus. And then when I say mingle, you mingle. But don't cross the line. Because then you lose points.
Roll camera. Hey.
Set.
Your call, sir.
Okay, and if you could, if you just do a little bit of, rocking around.
Nice to see you. You look like a kind of...
Maybe how's the missus? Good, man. Good. Right. Hello. Right. What's your problem? What's your problem?
Well, what up, bitch?
What up?
I'll show you. Let me demonstrate. Okay.
Continuing on doing
so we all start here, right? And just go across to here, and then and be looking around left and right. It's very bizarre, isn't it? It's a good one for the old DVD.
I gotta take mine with me when I leave.
Do you want me to let two
My name's Katrina Talbot, and I'm the back half of Bill the Pony. We have to actually have a bit of practice on every terrain because it's different in the snow and in the mud and on the mountainside and in the swamp. We started with an agency in Wellington Actors.
Okay, can we have a bit of room, please?
She said if we wanted to get involved in stilt walking, then we got called in to do Bill the Pony.
What we're going to do, you can see where these footprints go up the hill here. When we're all ready, we're just going to have you walking up the footprints, following in single file. And when Michael, who's playing Gandalf, gets to the end of the footprints, he stops, and everybody will position everybody behind there, and that's our starting position. Fran is then who's playing Frodo, is going to be doing a little fall and a roll down the hill. Viggo's going to jump out and grab him. And then if we can just run the scene. Now this is just a wide shot, and we're only going to need the basic big movement, so don't worry about dialogue. As he falls, and then you take it. And you're going to fall to your right and roll. And fall, Karen.
We've got the scene where we're walking through the snow. Using this product, we can make something that people can walk through. And if you leave it overnight, it'll get very stiff. And then we can use it for other bits of snow. And they use it to insulate houses. It's amazing stuff. It's the best snow we've had.
I'll be full of snow on the day and making an avalanche down here full of our foam snow. The actors will be going along the top of the set and creating an avalanche for them to be buried in.
So you see them looking up going, what the hell?
and the veil of snow comes down, you're not quite sure what's happened. You see Gandalf be pulled off the rock.
The simulated snow is a rice-based product. This is just light and environmentally friendly and doesn't seem to hurt your eyes. The rest of all the dressings are different products, the waxes and different foams and paper and Dacron.
But apparently there's MSG and rice, which can't be good.
No, salt.
Basically, it's like takeout.
Hi, I'm Jamie Selkirk, post-producer and supervising editor on the show. I'll just pop you in here and show Pete's Trailways way on location. Come on in. Look at this. Widescreen, 34-inch flat-screen TV, audio cassettes, amp, SVHS player, DVD player, and SPB player. Pete can come in here when he's got a little bit of downtime while they're setting up a difficult shot in the studio or location. He can come down here, he can play his rushes, select takes, or he can look at any other sort of his favourite movies. So we'll sit down here and take a wee nap on his couch, and we'll run one.
When's the couch coming, John?
Well, we're talking about it.
Well...
Should be soon.
No one should expect me to come in here and cut without a couch. Just tell Jamie if he wants me to turn up to look at anything, there should be a couch here. Hey, Monday's good. Monday sounds good.
Sam, start coming down.
It's Kieran's birthday. What was it, on Tuesday?
Tuesday,
On
yes.
Tuesday, it was Kieran's birthday. Yeah, so he's a very old man, so we have to treat him very gingerly. It's not his size. Some people think his height makes him delicate. It's not. It's his age. He's an old man. Look at the chiseled, the etched, the years of experience found on Kieran's face. And later you'll be able to see him wearing all of our faces. Is that true?
Yeah,
have you tried me on?
Yes.
Does it feel extra good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Do you feel the dramatic overbite with my
I
my
did.
upper lip there?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Don't drool in that mask.
No, I won't.
Any particular shot, we're going to have a floating moon.
Yes.
On a scissor, and
like a moon. Oh, you mean a light? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if he wants light coming in through the forest, he's screwed. Yeah.
No. They can shoot down over here. They can light above the blacks.
I think we're going to be working in here predominantly with Steadicam myself.
Yeah.
Obviously sticks at times, but I don't. I think a lot of the feel of this really suits Steadicam.
Yeah.
And just in terms of, because it can be that slight kind of glidey kind of. I don't think it doesn't need the precision of crane and dolly. I don't think. And here it'll feel a little bit more loose, I think. Is Frodo at the back? Is it Sam in the front? Yeah. And on action, they'll just slowly come down. Let's put Brent there and the other two tallest in these two columns. Yeah.
Who's under that? Mark, morning, Mark.
Okay, so the concept here, guys, there's going to be a lot of wind and a lot of noise, and we're not going to be able to talk to you. So when you hear action, which is a toot on the air horn, and then one step at a time, very slowly, like you're in a funeral procession, you just start to move down towards the hobbits, okay? Hello, Jan. So can you just prepare me a memo to the art department, please? Can the memo just say that Peter wants to see designs and sketches of all hand props before they appear on set?
Absolutely.
And that Boromir's bag that was presented to me today is rejected as a piece of design.
Boromir's bag?
Boromir's bag is rejected as a piece of design. I don't like it.
Okay.
And that Boromir will need a bag within the next 2 or 3 days, I guess, so that they better come up with some ideas.
Do I have my bag at this stage?
Yeah, I just need to...
We'll drop that down on final.
Because I don't know if I have it at the Moria Mines.
Houston, we are go.
When you give roll camera, there'll be 10 seconds rolling, and then Richie will give the cue action. Pete will take his cue and start the air ratchet out the side, which will first pull the door frame and lintel out. Richie will take his cue from the action of the rocks. When Richie starts on his novel, there'll be 10 separate explosions quite quickly. They'll both be as loud as a .22 gunshot, but it will reverberate in here.
Speed on 8.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, action!
Let's do one more of those, just for luck. It was great.
There's lots of good fake reverbs, but nothing can beat this. Real thing.
Just wanted to get out of the office. What do you want to do?
Well, I want to hear it from wherever, just what it's like. If you want to just, we've got a sequence of cave troll voices that Peter has listened to and likes. We're going to try to play those through the speaker here and get the natural ambience of the tunnel. Mostly that'll be used for off-camera shots in balanced tune.
Hey, Dave, do you want to power that thing on?
On now.
It's on? Is it pretty loud?
No, it's just pretty scary. Can you get any more out of it?
Once the workshop have finished the physical sculpt, we bring it over into the digital world, and the way we form that bridge between the physical model in the workshop and the digital model here in Where the Digital is with the 3D handheld laser scanner. It's what we use to get the model into the computer.
In the old days we used to animate, just one frame, frame A to frame Z, and that was it. You wind up spending as much time probably animating a scene as you would doing it in stop motion, or maybe even more time. You spend that time refining the work and making it as good as you can make it, rather than just, slowly, carefully, walking the tightrope of stop motion, where you go from frame A to frame Z.
But Gimli backs into there. The cave troll thinks, right, I've got him. There's nowhere to go in there. He can't dive. The cave troll comes for him with his hand, and just as the hand's coming towards Gimli, then...
Except for the two hobbits jumping on the troll's back, really most of the scene up till that point had been played on the floor and not on the mezzanine or on the second level, right? But getting into the set before the set was even built, when it was just built in the computer, I found that, if we get a lot of battling going on the second level as well as the first, you'll be at troll eye level, which is kind of neat because everything in the storyboards is sort of looking up at him the whole time.
Now, what I think would be good to try and, depending on how long this lasts, is that the full length of it, is it?
Yeah.
It'll probably be about half that length.
Yeah.
It'll probably just be a woof. So
yeah.
Seems like Aragorn would come from there and just like get him in the flank.
Sure. Once you have that basic choreography in the miniature digital set, what you could do was then put on virtual glasses and see that choreography from the point of view of a camera you were holding in these glasses. So you grab the camera and you run around and suddenly you're in the set with this big troll and you start covering it like a news cameraman, basically. And he wanted it to have a sort of slapdash, non-compositionally oriented feel, I think. Feel like it's like everything's being grabbed. What's challenging about Peter is his dumb ideas, because he said, let's have Legolas, run up the chain and jump over the troll. And I thought, that's really dumb. But, and I wouldn't have come up with that. So let's see if there's a way to stay with that and not talk him out of it, because sometimes you'll hear something that's out there, but and just say, oh, that won't work. But I've seen enough of Peter's work to know that A, he's out there, and B, he usually makes the out there stuff work. We get on the set, and Jeff Murphy's directing it. They're setting up to do Orlando running across this thing. And just as they're getting set up to do the first take, I said, Jeff, listen, why don't can we just have him grab a moment in the center and pull an arrow and try to fire it into the guy's head, because that makes him more aggressive than just acrobatic. And he can try to fire it into the troll's head, and the troll will knock him off before he can fire it, right? And so we'll see if we can talk Peter into that. So we did, and then Peter thought about that for a while. He said, no. What we're missing is him actually firing it bouncing off his head, and then him jumping off to get another shot at him, right? So that's sort of how the collaboration has worked. I'll have an idea, then he'll have an idea that tops that, and I'll have another idea that tops that, and he'll have another idea that tops that. So they just keeps building, Okay,
here we go. Straight into one, please.
The thing that we were told by Randy and Adam was to make him not evil. They wanted him to be more like an animal, like a pit bull, where this is what he did well, was destroy things. And so at the end, they kind of wanted you to feel a little bit bad for him, that the Fellowship kind of had to kill him, but he wasn't like a raptor or somebody who's just pure evil trying to kill you. So at the end, Adam Valdez did the shot where he gets an arrow in the mouth, and you kind of feel like, oh, that poor guy, So that was the kind of direction we got from them.
They've got to defend themselves, and the only way they can stop him is by finishing him off. But that doesn't mean it's a great cause for celebration when they do finish him off. And I frankly don't mind if the audience feels a little bit dirty when it's over.
Being given the Balrog as the first creature I had to texture was quite intimidating, considering it's the main nasty creature in film 1. We had the big maquette hanging on the wall that was beautifully sculptured. We took that and photographed it, and I used that as the basis of the design for the way the wrinkles would flow over the body. Then I took photographs of elephant skin and used that to get the really fine detail into the surface texture.
I think we have a total of around 14,000 total textures on the Balrog, and it can be a lot of work to actually just merge the different layers together, especially with a creature like this that is self-illuminating. He lights himself from inside, essentially like he's on fire the entire time. So we needed to see the global amount of how much he could light up, and this is definitely taken to the extreme, and we have a couple of areas where he just gets white hot that we have toned down quite a bit. And then this is, of course, just half the creature, and then it gets duplicated to the other side, and it makes it faster for the texture painter to be able to paint that way and see what the creature is going to look like before having to do twice the amount of work.
Well, this is just the various views. This is the view that we'll finally seen up on screen, and this is exactly the same moment seen from various different perspectives. You can twist your way around it to see how things are looking from various angles. A representation of where Gandalf is in the final thing there. The difficult thing that I've been finding with this shot is getting the transition between the Balrog coming forward in a threatening manner and the realization that the supports have gone out from under his feet. There's a kind of a moment in between those two ideas that's been a bit of a tricky transition to get.
When a set dies, it goes to set heaven. We have this person called the Strike Master. Grant Fahey comes along with his little elves and destroy it. It's a fast process, and they start from the top. They go to the bottom and sweep it out. It's all over. Tragedy.
This links us to the satellite. We send UHF over about 3 kilometres, and then we send a satellite, God knows how long that goes. It goes to Wellington, and then it goes into space, and then it comes down again and goes to Tianao at the moment, because that's where the other guys are. And this, come with me, I'll show you. Nope. I just remembered we've got Peter with us today, so we don't have to send it anywhere. That would be stupid.
Cate Blanchett is travelling this way to walk across the river. Hi. Now you've got to go back the way that we come in the mornings, and you'll see the first set of cones, and there's a couple of lights there come straight through the first path.
Bring Cate in, but we have to drive her in. So Missy is establishing the cleanest way to get Cate to set.
I think Galadriel's all a bit poncy and a bit overexcited with her status. We don't all need boats. You could have got the bus, use public transport, or the subway.
The thing about Peter Jackson is he'll never ask you to do something unless he's done it first, so he's going to go in the water now. Mr. Frodo!
Down and have a look at his foot. Mikey, where are you? Let's sit him down and have a look at his foot. You want to sit on the bench or do you want to sit on a chair?
We can go to a chair. No, it's fine. All right, can I think? Yeah. Just There was a stick pointing straight up in the water, and I just landed right on.
Right.
Careful, careful. Just.
Yeah, now it's bleeding too, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. I mean, I don't know how.
Bottom of the foot and just peel it back so that we can get out the wound.
It's good. You should probably elevate the leg more.
It's not too high.
Foot hurts. I actually had a premonition right before we start shooting that I was going to get hurt, but I thought I was going to get hurt jumping over the log.
Jumping over the log?
Yeah. Well, no, I just... Careful, gentle.
Right. There we go. Looking like you're probably going out.
Oh my God! Doesn't, yeah. Right. It's a lot of blood,
so
man.
Mike will get a
It's a lot of blood.
I'm probably going to need about 3 or 4 stitches there.
This stuff?
Hey, Mark.
Is this the short? Can you get us out of here? No, stick.
It's going to be sore, but it should be all right. It's an hour and a car to Tiano, and it's 20 minutes here to get a chopper here, and probably only 10 minutes to Tiano.
Yeah, we'll go for that then.
Yep. Wait, I gotta be able to see the camera. I gotta see the camera. Don't block the close-up during the trauma.
Feel a screw going. Feel a screw going deeper and deeper into your shoulder. Now we should do a bit of a rehearsal with Sean, just practicing.
With his arrow.
Getting used to the arrow. Getting used to being a man with an arrow. Taking out other stay clear, everybody. Stay clear.
Everybody keep clear. Whatever you do, keep clear.
And then I can have the Iroquois just like this with the pom-poms cheering me on.
Goodness.
Ow! Goes to you. Go let's. Idiot.
Gets it better.
Aragorn running.
Cool. Well, see, he goes to the last.
Oh, so he does that.
His head off. In cutting the action at Ammonhan, the climactic battle at the end of the film, together, there are a few things the editor asked for. He noticed we needed a close-up where Aragorn registers, after killing Lurtz, he registers that his compatriot Boromir is dying, and he needs a moment to go from victory to tragedy, and he runs off to Boromir. So we want to pick up that moment. And then we also want a moment where Merry and Pippin have realized they're about to be captured. There's a point of view of Uruk approaching them.
As you get into Richie, come down like this, and then like you're going down. Because they're down here.
I want it to look like you're coming right at the camera to pull. Actually, quite a lot of effort to be able to do this. And I find myself conflicted. But right now, finishing the movie seems to me to be the most important thing, and helping Peter out in that fashion is appropriate on this film. It does take me away from a lot of other responsibilities I have.
Raise your thought. That's it.
Like that.
He's mad. Sane goes off shooting his own film. There's very little relationship with the one that we're making, but we have to keep him humoured. We have to keep him feeling happy and good. So we just give him a camera and a crew, and he's as happy as Larry. Stays off our backs. It's a brilliant scheme.
Going. Yeah. That was great. Much better. Yep.
Oh, Viggo.
Sorry. Hey, Viggo, are you on camera? No.
Yeah.
We could have used him. Hey.
Waiting any second, they're going to say I have to go back to work. The more variety you give them in terms of what you do in takes or what you offer the other actor, the more chance of something interesting happening. If you don't do anything thinking, well, they'll never use it, then you're giving them nothing. And when we're going at the rate we're going here, it doesn't seem like it. Here I am fishing and all that, but that's because I'm waiting between shots. But we don't have much time to get it really right, so the more you can throw out there, the bigger the better. I think I better go learn my lines and forget about this for a while.
for killing machines, move forward with the intention that you're going to kill. So keep it fluid, not stilted. Give it the best you can. Thank you.
We have to deliver PG-13, but you know what I would hope is to make it a relatively hard PG-13. So it shouldn't be surprising if the first cut that we present gets an R rating, and we have to go back and trim some shots. That would be the desire, so that we get a PG, but only just sneak in, as it were, by having to trim some shots. And then, of course, whatever we trim can go in the DVD edition.
You've got very tight eyelids.
Yeah, they. Oh, it's going in now.
How's that feel?
Beautiful.
Just keep on looking down. Oops.
That's good. Lift the bottom down. Good one, Vance. Can you open your eye, or is it too much?
No, it's fine.
It's fine, he says. Hey, let's have a look. Little freak fun.
You'll arrive, the others will arrive behind you, Thomas will arrive, and then go. So you're only probably on there for 2 or 3 seconds. And we'll make sure once they'll come straight behind you, and we'll make sure everybody stops safely. People should just move in and grab a goblin.
Yeah.
Grab a goblin.
Grab a goblin.
The only difference between our background and our hero costumes for our goblins are pretty much as the hero lightweight chainmail, which was conceptually thought and designed and produced for this particular film. It's a chainmail that's 1/5 the weight of steel, so the character's able to wear the costume for a long period of time without feeling any fatigue from any exhaustion or weight.
Well, this is chainmail, lots of it. This is a Moria Orc suit that I'm working on at the moment. There's 13,000 rings in one of these suits when it's finished, and it takes approximately 3 days to make up one of these suits. Some of the other suits are considerably more because the mail is a lot finer.
Here I am putting together plastic rings, and I love it. Absolutely mad as a meat axe, but I love it.
And for me, it's been about 5 months of non-stop. Just the calluses on the ends of the fingers. But we'll get there.
Welcome to the bubble.
Welcome to the bubble.
This has been our home for what, the last year?
2 years.
No, we only had the bubble for about a year.
And the hostage.
Oh, and the hostage, yes. We can't forget the hostage. He still hasn't coughed up his secrets.
This is 5 million rings that we've put together, which is 10 kilometres worth of chainmail if every ring was stood on its edge. The only reason we know this is because the amount of materials that we've ordered through the supplier comes to 10 kilometres worth. There's twice as much chainmail as ever was originally asked for. And you can imagine how we felt when all of a sudden all these stunties are wearing chainmail at Helm's Deep and giving it absolute death. And sort of standing there thinking, well, I hope it all holds together, because it was never originally planned to do that. And so far it has.
With the guy. Yeah. I'm just going to wash the blood off this one.
Right, let's do it once more. Let's just do it once more. Turn around, yep. Turn around.
In the stomach.
Yep.
The stomach.
Okay, yeah, there.
Gotcha.
Big Pete.
Right, John?
Yeah.
Well, this afternoon we've got the pleasure of Christopher Lee's company.
Take two.
Quite a few of his scenes with some really bad background noise, fans, humming. So he's coming in to do his ADR, or looping, as they also call it, to replace his dialogue lines.
Power.
Greatest power. No, I think it's power.
You want more?
I think power is the word. 3
rings for the elven kings under the sky. In a sense,
most famous.
Is the most famous quote of the whole work.
And not only that, the way that you
7 for the dwarf lords and their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the dark lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie, 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. I mean, that's so famous.
It is.
In Moria, we translated a text that Philippa and Fran wrote that are based on the scenes of Moria, and the text was translated by David Sallow into Dwarvish, and we used I set the Dwarvish text for the all-male chorus. The orchestra set up very much as the way a pit orchestra would be set up in an opera, and you could imagine the proscenium of an opera stage to be the equivalent of the screen in the cinema. And the chorus is used in a way that it's coming right off of the screen. It's actually playing right through the screen, and the orchestra is below it. The score is really spanning a lot of music from the beginning of the 20th century right to the end of the 20th century. Film music grew out of opera music, and the emotional aspect of opera music and how it was used in theater just it seemed to appeal to me to conceptually, like, of how to work on the score.
Just to fill you in on a little bit of musical history, Billy once did have a trumpet tree which he planted in his garden.
Yeah, it was a lovely thing to see, but the council came and rooted it out.
Premix mode, it's like we're building a house, we're sort of going through all the different sounds and all the different ambiences.
I think you just have to punch it up a little bit.
Hundreds of different tracks and sort of deciding how that they should be juxtaposed to the film. For us, it's where we get to see the film sort of blossom into, take a whole new dimension into what it ultimately is going to be as this wonderful experience.
Peter was actually the sniffing of the wraiths. So Fran is the screaming and Peter is the sniffing.
We had 2 recorders going on our first scream, and neither one of them could take it.
No, I know. It's amazing. She hits some frequency which is really disturbing.
Yeah, and a level too. Because we were standing across the room, and she just like went. You felt my hair go, and the paint was peeling.
This is certainly not another movie. There's a lot of us are sort of really made a lot of sacrifices to be able to be on this picture because we all believe in it so much.
Welcome to Rivendell, Frodo Baggins.
Have it all finished in a week and it'll be a relief. It'll be 1 down, 2 to go. But I will have a little break, so I'm sure I'll feel much better after the break and launch into the cutting of film too.